Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay Will. So it's time for the full review of the HTC U Ultra. It's probably got to be one of those phones that fall into controversy like some phones do. And I think it's all great conversation. So normally when I do a review, I have like this order that I go in, but I think I'm just gonna kind of just throw this one out there and also look for a written review on smartphoneconversations.com. I have a link to the description, but this phone has been very fun to use daily. It's actually been a couple of weeks now. It might be even a little more than that. I don't remember. But since I got this phone, and it's good. I know there's a lot of reviews out there saying that it's trash, it's horrible. But again, a review is the way the person who's using the phone sees the thing in front of them. So, every review out there, even if you see 200 reviews saying that this phone is horrible and only 3 or 20 saying that it's good, it doesn't mean that one group is right and one group is wrong. Again, all I can tell you is to just watch this review and take from it what you will. And if you still, have some questions about it, you're going to have to just go out and purchase it on your own and get your review going. So let's get started. So I kind of want to start with the obvious. So this secondary display up top is something that even when I didn't have the phone, questioned, like, why would they take the same route as LG? We know LG for doing the secondary display, not, any other company to make it so obvious. Like, this setup looks exactly like the LG V20 and the V10, but, the functionality for both phones are about the same. I didn't really use the second display on the V20, and I don't really use it on here. But it's there now because sometimes I'll leave it up there for the contacts, and it's quick access to contacts. So if I wanted to call my wife or text her, I could just say, boom, hit call or text, and I really enjoy that feature. However, I don't use it very often. I'm so used to hitting the call button that, it's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of, it's kind of almost difficult to remember that it's there, that I can actually use that functionality. So secondary displays with this phone didn't sway me in any kind of way, just like it didn't with the V20. I still don't find it as useful as it could be. So basically they could have just stretched this up and made this a 5.9-inch display, as far as I can tell. Now, one functionality that I do like for the display up here, you can, when you get messages in, you don't have to tap it and go into the application. You can just, there's a little down arrow that comes, you hit that and you can reply right from there and send it. That's actually pretty cool because the way it pops up, it's really nice. But another thing that's not so great about that secondary display is it's stuck on a 24-hour clock. And again, I've reached out to HTC. I've tried to email people. I did get a response. Don't need to name those people who responded, the employees that work there. But I did get a response. And at the moment, there's just no way to, change it from a 24-hour clock to a 12-hour clock. Now, I've been out in the military for 24 years. So, I know my military time, but some people don't. And, that's just how it goes. So the secondary display doesn't have very much functionality at all at this point, just like the V20s didn't. It's nice to be there, but I forget that functionality is there because I have all this other area down here to work with, and I don't really need to go way up to the top just to get to these things. So let's talk about the build quality and design. This phone is built very well. It is definitely a shiny device. You can see everything. You can see my fan up there. You can see the Galaxy S7 I'm recording with. You can see the microphone cable. You can see my hand weight. You can see every reflection in this thing. And that's beautiful. It doesn't bother me. I think the design is actually pretty nice. It's sweet. I like it. You get a 12 megapixel on the back, which takes fantastic photos. There's a 16 megapixel on the front right here. It has the ultra pixel technology. It has 3D recording because it has 4 microphones. Count them: 1, 2. Where's the other one? Okay, wait. Okay, so I got 1 on the front, 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the bottom. So you get 4 microphones, and that's good. That's something good about the build quality and hardware. You got a ridge power button, which I really like because you can tell the difference between the volume and the power button without looking at the phone. You've got a nice metal and glass design here. This is called like some liquid metal. Those are just names. The fact is, it's glass on the back and it has a metal chassis, and it feels really good. It's a tall device. It's a big device, so bear that in mind if you decide to pick this up. It does have laser autofocus, dual-tone LED flash. It does have boom sound. It has a speaker within there and then a speaker on the bottom there. Definitely not the loudest setup, but it's definitely doable. I think you'll enjoy the sound that comes out of this device. 5.7-inch Quad HD display, and then I'd already talked about the secondary display up there. I think they could have just made this a 5.9-inch display and called it a day. The secondary display up there is, yeah. But beautiful display. I don't have any problems with it. Outside, it's bright enough for my eyes. And, I just think that it's pretty good. I really like it. The fingerprint reader on the bottom is really fast. I really like the fingerprint reader. You just touch on it and boom, it's already on. See, super fast, good enough for my needs. And I think it'll definitely be good enough for your needs. Beautiful device, but it is definitely a big device. I mean, like really big. Like, let me see if I can grab the Nexus 6. I just have to have the Nexus 6 laying around. And if I'll leave it in the case. But the Nexus 6 is a big phone, and the U Ultra is taller. Not wider, but definitely taller. So, it's a great looking device. It's just really big. It's a tall device, not a big device. It's real narrow in the hand, so it's going to feel great in the hand when holding it. It's just really tall. Now, in my testing of the cameras are actually really solid. Crystal clear. I think the front camera in certain lighting appears to be a lot better than my favorite S7's camera. And the rear camera to me is a little bit more accurate than some of the colors that are produced on the S7/S7 Edge. Samsung phones, which I love, I'm totally a fan of, can't wait to get the S8 Plus in-house, are very saturated in the way they produce their colors. And look for a camera sample or comparison between this phone and the S7 Edge or the S7 in the coming days or so. But I think the cameras on here are very nice. The quality that comes from the front 16 megapixel camera is one of the best you'll ever see. Your lighting, like all cameras, has to be good. You have to use, I actually used manual mode. Shout out to Danielle, who works for HTC. She was giving me some pointers. I was talking to LaShawn and her on Twitter. And, LaShawn asked about the bokeh effect. And I was like, well, I don't see a setting for that. And she said, you got to go into manual mode. So for the first time, I've actually been using a camera for manual mode. I've been doing it. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just take a picture, and then I'll pop this up here in the video somewhere. So I'll pop that up now. You'll see that I uploaded a macro shot or a bokeh effect shot with Pro Mode on this camera, just as the taken with the Nexus 6, and you'll see how great the bokeh effect is on the HTC U Ultra. It is actually really good. But the camera on here, to me, basically overall, I like it. It's a very impressive camera. And I think you'll like both cameras on here when you actually get this device in hand if you decide to buy it. Software on this thing, I have the Pixel Launcher on here right now. And I know it's not fair that I started this review with the Pixel Launcher, but my review phase for the phone kind of ended, so I switched to the Pixel Launcher, and I just forgot to change it back. But let me show you the theme that I'm running on here. Uh-oh, wrong one. And this is what I'm getting into. The theme on here, I've actually been running just the themes that come with the device. This is a beautiful theme. They have so many themes in the HTC store. I actually like it a little bit better than the Samsung store because something about the HTC Sense, I really like it, man. I don't know what it is. I'm not a fan of this app tray like this, I'll admit, but I really, really, really like the themes that are in the HTC store. They are actually pretty solid, man. I was actually pretty impressed at how many they had, how many are free, pricing for the ones that are not free. It's actually pretty solid, man. So I've been using this theme right here from the from the theme store. So when you go into themes, you can just long press and select change theme. But there's so many, and there's different kinds of things. They have these freestyle themes where you can actually change and move things around the home screen. It's a little bit more cluttered, and it's kind of different, but it's there, and it's an option for people who want a little bit more control. To me, this is a lot more organized. The freestyle themes are, they're cool. There's some good ones. I have this one right here, Evening Family Room, but I think that's probably the only one. Oh, I have this Old Glory one too. But other than that, the freestyle themes are kind of, they're a lot different. Moving things around. Let me go into the freestyle themes, because you can kind of get the same design, but you can get in the freestyle and the regular theme. So here's the one I have right here, and then that's the Old Glory ones. They have them both. They just have them in either organized or unorganized, or you're in control basically. But basically, the theme store is actually really nice because you can change your font. You can do anything. When you edit the current theme, you have control over changing icons, everything. I think this is a good look. And you can get everything right from their theme store. Fonts, ringtones, you can grab everything, man. I just think it's really nice. So I've been pretty pleased with the themes and the way the UI is set up. I really like it, man. Performance on this phone is pretty solid, man. I don't have any crashes or anything. I have app crashes from Google services for some reason. I don't know why. I only have problems with Google. The Google software that's on here. But in a lot of phones that I've been using, not just this one, I've been having a lot of problems with Google products. Like, they just crash here lately. I don't know what it is, but I've been having a lot of problems with it. But overall, though, the performance of this phone is pretty steady. No problems whatsoever. And I'm not just saying that just because this is actually a pretty good performer. No crashes. If you have the U Ultra, speak up and let me know how your performance is in the comments. If you don't have the U Ultra, please don't tell me what somebody else said. So let's talk about the battery. Here's another one about this phone that's so controversial just because some people posted online that they're only getting 2 hours. I don't know how a person could get, even though this phone has a 3,000 milliamp hour battery, I don't see how a person can get 2 hours of screen on time out of this phone with a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. Think about what they're saying. Let's consider this now. There are so many other phones out there that have a 3,000 milliamp hour battery with pretty much the same specs, a Snapdragon 821, or even less. The S7 and the S7 Edge have Snapdragon 820s, and the S7 has a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. It doesn't even get 2 hours of battery life. I mean, come on, let's think about this. I'm not saying those people are lying. I'm just trying to figure out how in the world they got such weak battery. I just don't even think it's possible, but I don't know what they're doing on their phone. I don't know how many apps they have. I don't know what the syncing process is on their devices, but I can tell you I've never gotten 2 hours out of this phone. Now, come on, man. It does have a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. The Quad HD display in here is an IPS LCD 5, so you don't want to use darker wallpapers. You would want to use a brighter wallpaper, because that will help with this. AMOLED, the pixels are shut off with the black, so it's not using any battery. So with LCD, you should probably use a lighter, or even white, background, and that'll help you out with battery life. But that's not how I'm getting great battery life. I pretty much use whatever background I want to use, and I'm good. So that doesn't bother me at all. But the battery life on here, for me, I've gotten at least 4 hours and 45 minutes to 5 hours and 45 minutes, almost 6, in between there on every charge. I just haven't gotten 2 hours of screen on time. That would mean I plugged this up, watched one Netflix movie, and it died. Come on, folks. Let's be realistic here. I just don't see that to be possible. I've seen a lot of posts online. The battery's trash. It's got a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. But what's going to happen when the S8 comes out with a 3,000 milliamp hour battery? Grace UI, basically TouchWiz, is one of the worst UIs ever. And I'm a Samsung fan, but lag is so apparent on Samsung products sometimes, even with the high-end chipsets. Some lag comes at one point or another. So for battery life on this with 3000, in my experience, I'm getting on the low 4 hours and 40 minutes or 45 minutes on a charge. That's more than enough for what this phone is offering. Seriously. Consider the source, folks. You know, you gotta possibly do your own research too. I wouldn't believe everything everybody says, but I'm not saying they're right or they're wrong, but if you want to find out if something is true or you just have to get your own experience. You can't always read online what somebody else is saying. And that applies to me too. I'm telling you, that's what my battery life is. Some people still don't believe it, even though I can pop up a screenshot and show you. There's no way to trick the system because if you plug in your phone during a battery drain, it's going to show a spike and it'll let everybody know that it's been plugged in. So, and you can also go into the settings and find out if a person's plugged in or not, but that's just crazy. Anyway, battery life on this is more than suitable. Now, last but not least, let's just kick it to you straight. The phone costs through HTC $750 plus taxes. A lot of people hate that price. A lot of people jumped out there and imported it for more than that price just so they could be early on YouTube and get a video out there and get a review before everybody else just to get the views. Well, what's done is done. This phone costs $750 through HTC. If you don't want to buy this phone through HTC, you can definitely hit other sources now, especially eBay. They're selling for like $600 on eBay. If I were gonna price this phone from HTC, I wouldn't have priced it over $600 because there are some things with this phone that I would have wanted a little bit more, especially the secondary display. Camera's phenomenal, you know, screen beautiful. Build quality and design over the top. I love it. Speakers, ooh, sweet. Software, tight, right on point. No crash, no nothing. But where it falls short is, it's a big phone, like really big. I have big hands and I still find myself going in with two hands pretty much overall. The secondary display needs a serious update for it to be there. It's kind of annoying. If you turn it off, it's just a black slate across the top. Did I give you a bumpy cam? Bumpy cam, if I did. Another thing is, it's very, very slippery. So I am forced to order a D brand, which I did order, and I bought a case here for it, which I think was the best option. Now I've got the grip that I want. Because I hate to cover up this beautiful design, but I've dropped this phone so many times, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. Very slippery. And like I was just speaking of, obviously the price. Huge downfalls. But not huge enough to say this phone is trash. This is a fantastic device, in my experience. The pros outweigh the cons for me. So, full review of the HTC U Ultra is here. Here you go. That's all of my thoughts on it. I'm done. I'm still using this as my daily driver, by the way. But I'm done with it. You know, that's my full review. Now I'm gonna, you know, keep the ball rolling and keep using the phone. It's a fantastic phone. This is my daily driver for those that are going to ask. Hope you hung in there for the entire video. I'm pretty sure I answered all the questions that I could possibly think of for this. At least if I didn't answer a question in this video for you, ask it in the comments. It's me and J Will. I'm out.